We used to chant this with Muktananda very often, and sometimes we'd have long chants called saptas, which would go on for days. And we would chant this 24 hours a day. Obviously, people would come and go. And my second year in the ashram, I had learned to play drums and harmonium during my first winter there because there was only 30 people, and nobody knew how to play either. So they were saying, well, we may not have to be able to have chants. So I said, no, I learned them both. I couldn't quite play them both at the same time, but I've tried. And one week we had a 7-day chant of Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. And there was only like 8 or 9 drummers around. So we each had to play 3 or 4 hours a day of drumming. And it's on that. Yes, thank you. Yes, and it's not that fun kind of drum with the little, it's, the big merdang with the metal rims that hit your hand when you're playing. And so I had 3 hours a day to play drum and then 1 hour playing harmonium. And I was doing video distribution at the time and had people, I'd line out my door all the time of Swamis, I'm sure Brahmananda was one of them, coming to ask what videos were available for their various programs, because this was the busy time of the summer, so everybody had come from all over the country. My hands were getting raw. All the drummers are walking around with bloody hands, and the drums were getting blood on them. It was, the ashram, you would have these mixtures of ecstasy and what's called tapasya, which is burning, a little suffering, a little challenge. And the two would sometimes come together. So it was so wonderful to be playing the drums in front of sometimes 1,000 people, and you could get the whole place going with just a beat, just a special beat. And but at the same time, every hit hurt. So you're like, well, how much do I hit it hard, and how much do I try to preserve my own comfort? So at one point, I was getting ready to play my harmonium shift in the afternoon, and I hadn't had much sleep, so I was thinking, well, I don't really need to be playing this harmonium shift, because there were plenty of harmonium players, so I'll just, after this, I'll cancel it and have them put someone else in the schedule. It's nice to play, but this is too much. So I sat down, and I was so tired, and I started playing. And we'd start out slow for a few minutes before the drum would come in. And I just started falling asleep. But I kept playing. So I basically fell asleep, but I kept playing. And I put my head down on my arm, so I was really quite sleeping. I didn't have the mic was coming from the other side of things, so I had my head on my arm. I kept playing, the drum came in, and then I started just playing all these swirly, and so that went on, and at some point, someone tapped on my shoulder, and I woke up. And I woke up and my hands were playing the harmonium because I had been asleep in some way. And I was like, uh-oh, I must have hit the wrong note. And what are they, excuse me. And I kept playing, and I turned, and the woman said, Malti just called. And that was her name before she was Guru Mai Chidvilasananda, and she was Muktananda's translator. She said, Malti just called. Baba really loves the way you're playing. And I was like, how was I playing? And I thought, oh, I don't want to hit the wrong note because then he'll think a little praise would, ruin my focus.